Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So the news today is that the REVV token is launching on the 4th of September. So the REVV token, as we can see here on the website, is a token that is going to be used in a number of blockchain games revolving around motorsport. The best known game that it's going to be used for is F1 Delta Time, which is a official Formula One license game, which is kind of in a beta at the moment. So you can actually play the game, but it's not the full game. It's kind of almost like a mini game really at the moment. So the REVV token is going to be a key part of that game. There's also a MotoGP game. It's not been it's been announced, but it doesn't have an official name. There's no details really, and the REVV token will work in that. And there's also another game that Animoca Brands, who is the company behind these games, is going to announce. It's another licensed game, so I don't know that much about motorsports, but I guess what we're missing. We've got Formula One, motorcycling, motorbike racing, and I guess we kind of have rally driving, I suppose, or I don't know. I don't know if there's any official kind of drag racing or what other things there could be. Maybe NASCAR, I suppose, big in the States. I don't know. We don't know. But anyway, these three games are going to involve this REVV token. So what's interesting about the launch is, I think it's the first time I've seen this officially, that the token, which is a ERC20 token, all these games run on Ethereum, it's just going to be launched using the Uniswap automatic exchange, which just means that a whole bunch of the REVV tokens and a whole bunch of ETH, the Ethereum token, are going to be put into a liquidity pool by Animoca Brands, and it's going to have an official official price, which will be 0.00666 revs to the dollar. So pretty kind of small kind of dollar pricing. Obviously, the point of that kind of stuff is you kind of have a lot of you kind of have a lot of rev, so it feels kind of good to have like, I've got 10,000 rev, but actually it's probably less than $1. Obviously, the point of putting it into a Uniswap liquidity pool is that people can come in and trade, and it automatically changes price depending on how much is being bought and how much is being sold. So it's quite a nice way of doing it. And it kind of lets it find a market price. So presumably, as these games launch and if they get big and popular, then people will be buying rev to play the game. So in the Formula One game, you will have to spend some rev to enter some of the tournaments, and you will also get rev as a reward for winning tournaments. You can also be able to also own racetracks, so racetracks as NFTs, and then if people who are spending the rev to go on your race tracks, you will get a kind of a cut of that. And there's also some staking mechanics, so you can actually stake your own rev. So like you would have on a delegated proof of stake blockchain, that you kind of stake your tokens to provide the security mechanic and get some more tokens back as a reward. You can do that with rev, and also if you have vehicles that you're not using and don't want to sell, you can stake those and also get kind of earn some rev. So it's going to be used in various different ways. It's an interesting mechanic. We've not really seen a game, certainly not a game on Ethereum, use kind of this kind of token tokenomics, I guess we used to call it, but use a token in various ways that should support the economy. And generally do what a blockchain game should, which is also this kind of idea of play to earn. So probably not for most players, but you can earn this rev by playing the game. You have to own NFTs to play the game, so you have to own the cars and you have to own bits of the the tires, and you can own drivers and gloves, and there's quite a lot of NFTs involved in this game. But if you make that investment, you can earn some of this rev, and then you can obviously trade the rev out for ETH or other currencies. So total supply, 3 billion tokens. And this is going to be split in various ways. So we can see F1 Delta Time has 500 million rev tokens. So obviously, once these things are live, then rev tokens can flow between games. They're not locked to a game. A rev token in F1 Delta Time is the same as a rev token in MotoGP, but this is how they're going to be allocated to begin with, at least. If one of these games is more popular, obviously more rev will end up in that game. So 17% to F1 Delta Time, 13% to MotoGP. There's a reserve, quite a big reserve for emergencies. Kind of typical spread here. We've got team and advisors, so the people who have made the game, and they get kind of 10%. Normally that's kind of locked up, so they can't just dump it on the market straight away. Obviously you wouldn't want that because it'll bash the price. Initial DEX offering, so this is what's going to go into, I don't know if all in one go on Uniswap. I guess it probably would. So 250 million REV tokens will be available on this Uniswap liquidity pool. Problem would be you have to match that with ETH, but I guess Animoca brands wouldn't have a problem because they got plenty of money. And then the player rewards. So this is, I guess, I don't know how this is spread between these games. I'm not very clear there. But anyway, that's the allocation. And in terms of F1 Delta Time, the allocation that they've got, 500 million, going to be 5 pools. So games operations, staking, reserve, and promotion and marketing. So that's how that's going to split up. But obviously, you see the majority, or not the majority, half of it is going to be kind of rewards in game operations. 6% will be people staking. There'll be a reserve for decide what they want to do with later, sort of thing. So here we see this. So there's time trials. So you basically choose the right NFT, choose the right components on your car to try and get the fastest time. That's what's actually live at the moment. So it's basically leaderboard based. You have to pay. Well, at the moment you get I think it's 3 free goes per track, and then if you want to do more, you have to pay. And obviously you would use Rev to enter those time trials. A Grand Prix. This is the bit that's not live yet. A kind of full immersion, including I think linking into what's going on in the actual Formula One season. So if you have Lewis Hamilton probably doing pretty well at the moment, although he was probably pretty expensive to buy. Then staking, so you can stake your cars and get some revenue if you're whatever reason you've got lots of cars and you can only some of them you don't want to use. And then if you own a track, again probably that'd be fairly expensive, but you can collect these rev dividends. As people come in and drive your track, you'll get money for that. So it's kind of interesting kind of point of view. As I say, we've not really seen. It's not very complicated how Rev is going to work. Obviously, it might work slightly differently in the MotoGP games. It might work slightly differently over time as this stuff is kind of fine tuned. But it is interesting that we haven't seen a lot of tokens on Ethereum. It's seen a lot of that on EOS. So EOS doesn't have a very good NFT standard, so most of the EOS games are having a EOS based token, and that's how they're kind of running their game and monetizing their game. With Ethereum, it's mainly been NFTs, but now we're seeing with things like Rev and also Sand from Sandbox. And actually, Blockchain Cuties has a token called Cute, I think. Not quite sure what's going on with that, but we are seeing the start of a kind of a ERC20 token based kind of payment reward system in these Ethereum games, assuming the gas price doesn't kill everyone. So anyway, that's the news. This is launching the 4th of September, so you can go to Uniswap with your Ethereum, your ETH, and go and buy some Rev if you want to. Obviously, if you're not going to play the games, probably not a lot of point. I wouldn't necessarily think it's going to be a great investment opportunity, at least at the moment. I think with these kind of things, you want to actually, if you're playing the game, obviously you want some. If you're not playing the game, probably best to go to play the game and understand what's going on before you start thinking these things are a great investment. Better just to enjoy them, I think. So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This is Blockchain Gaming World, where we spend our time deep in the world of blockchain games, trying to make sense of it all. Hope you find it interesting. Please do subscribe if you do, and hope to see you again soon.